Looking at this logarithm expression, we are to find the value of x in this expression. Log to the base of 3x minus 2 log of x, 3 is equal to 1, to find the values of x. First, if we look keenly at this expression, we will see that there is a change, there is a base different here. This is 3 of x, this is x of 3. In other words, to solve this easily, we must make sure that this particular expression is the same as this. In other words, 3 of x, we have to make this side to also be 3 of x. And to do so, we must convert this 1 over all of these to make this to work. In other words, if we want to make sure that, as we know in terms of the rules, log of 3 of x, to change the base, we can therefore say that this to be like this, we must express it as 1 over log of 3x. In other words, to make these to be like this, then we have to say 1 over all of these. But since we have 2 here, 2 times 1 will be 2 over all of this. In other words, we can rewrite this expression here as log 3x minus, because this is the minus sign here, this 2 will be up here over log of 3x. We have just inverted. As you can see here, it was x3, but now it is 3x. Since we want to make it to resemble this this left-hand side, is equal to 1, as you can see here. So now we have this expression like this. This is now what we have. We need to now use this to find x. In other words, we have just made one of these, this one here, to resemble this one by taking 1 over all of these and change it. But we have 2 here, so we have to say 2 times the 1 which is here is 2, so 2 over all of it, as you can see it here. Now, since we already have it here, to make it look easier, we can say let log 3x be equal to y, so that we can just replace all of it by y here. So we can say y, this is y. We can just say y minus 2 over y is equal to 1. So we have just rewritten everything in this box, but this have been replaced by y, as you can see. So we now have this. And of course, this is the same like over 1. This is the same like over 1. To clear this y, which is down here, we have to cross multiply on both sides to clear this y. So y times y will give us y square. Y square minus 2 is equal to y times 1 is y. So we have had this simple expression here. We now have this. Y squared minus 2 is equal to y. Now, what we want to do is to carry this on the left-hand side to make it look in the form of a quadratic expression. Therefore, we can say y squared minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. Remember the form which we used to have when it is x, in the form of x, where we have this expression like ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This x squared here is this bx is this, and this c is a constant. Now, if we want to get easily y, and we want to say that we want to factorize to make sure that it looks in this form. Therefore, to get the values of y in this expression, what we want to do is to factorize. We can say that what true value, if we express for y, will give us y squared. The answer is very simple. It is just y times y. We still give us y squared. Now, we need to use the constant here and make sure that if we want to factorize, we use 2 terms in a way that when we cross multiply to add, we are going to have the middle term. In this case, we can say minus 1 times, that is 1 times 1 times minus 2. So we'll say 1 times minus 2, because 1 times minus 2 will still give us minus 2. So 1 times minus 2 is this minus 2. And if we add in this format, that is multiplying this side and adding by this side, if we have minus y, then this is the factor. So minus 2 times y will give us minus 2y. Minus 2y plus y times 1 is y. So let's do the expression. If this is correct, then this will be the factor. So minus 2 times y will give us minus 2y plus y times 1 will give us y. So minus 2y plus y is equal to minus y. So because we have gotten minus y, which is here the middle term, then this y plus 1 and y minus 2 is the factor. This simply means that y is equal to, let's first of all re-express. So let's say that y plus 1, y minus 2 is equal to 0. So these are the various factors. And we can therefore say that y is equal to minus 1. If we carry it here, it is the same like y plus 1 is equal to 0. This implies that y is equal to, if we carry it here, become minus 1. Or y minus 2 is equal to 0. Y minus 2 is equal to 0. This implies that y is equal to, if we carry this minus 2 here, becomes 2. So y is equal to 2. So we have two values of y, where y is minus 1 and y is 2. So, but we know that we have stated that log, we know that we have set in this area that let log of 3 to the x be equal to y. But if now we have gotten the value of y, then we have to replace it back to see how we can get the values of the log, which is here. So log of 3 of x is equal to y. Let's come back and replace this. We already have the value of y. Let's try to do that. So we are going to say that log, let's bring it back, log 3x be equal to, one of the value of y is what? Is 2. So we have 2 here. So if we want to have x, which is here, because we have to look the value of x, we know the law of log. This to the power this must be equal to this. In other words, this implies that 3 to the power 2 must be equal to x. This means that x will be equal to 3 squared is 9. That's one of the value of x. Let's look in the case where y is equal to 1, is minus 1. We are still going to say that log 3x is equal to minus 1. So this to the power this will be equal to this based on the law. This implies that 3 raised to the power minus 1 is equal to x. But when it is raised to the power minus 1, to move this minus sign, we must bring it down. So 1 over 3 will make this to work. So this implies that x will be equal to remove this minus, we have to say 1 over, we bring it down, 1 over 3, as you can see, making it x. So the various value of x is 9, as we can see here, and x is 1/3. And to those of you who want to see more expression like this with similar expression and other examples how to solve this kind of logs, then you want to make sure to go ahead to also subscribe and enable the notification bell icon so that anytime we publish videos like this, you'll be the very first to get a new update to improve your skills. See you again in the next upload, and bye-bye.